Hi everybody, Kevin Lonnquist here for On the Pony Express Hilltop Visits. We are pleased to be joined by SMU women's basketball head coach Toyelle Wilson, entering her fourth year at SMU, 2 WNIT appearances. The season opener is on November 4th versus North Carolina A&T here at Moody Coliseum. And that's Taylor Swift Day, so you Mustang dads of daughters, I'm just saying, so you know what you need to do on that. So Coach, thanks for joining us.
No problem. I'm really excited about the season, also about Swifty Day. We're actually kind of renaming it to the ACC Eras Tour. So, but just because it's new and she's on her last, I think this past weekend actually is her last tour, I think in New Orleans.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I saw it on the news this morning.
So
yeah.
as we're recording this, a good friend of mine is actually taking her daughter down to New Orleans for that. And I have 2 daughters that are in their 20s, and so they're all part of that Swifty Army. Yeah.
Come on, we have friendship bracelets. We're going to have all the things.
They were in Kansas City last year for the big concert when it was there, and so we all know about Taylor in Kansas City these days.
Yes.
But anyway, so let's shift to you, and I want to start with you, just kind of a global look of your program, and because of SMU joining the ACC, where you think you are and what the potential now of this program is, because it is in the ACC.
Well, right now it's like a vibe. It's limitless. It's so exciting right now to be a Mustang and to want to be a Mustang and to come to SMU. We're in Dallas. We're in an amazing city where you have unlimited opportunities with marketing and networking and all the things. Our academics are second to none. And now we have the facilities, but now we have that tag of ACC. And so right now it's booming. Recruits are really intrigued about what they can do different in staying home, especially with Texas being really a hotbed for recruiting. And so just really excited right now. We're really with the team right now, just being focused on playing each game day by day, but just excitement right now.
All right, so let's talk about just your first 3 years. WNIT appearances, as we mentioned, the first 2 years. Last year did not go the way you wanted it to, but you had some really devastating injuries that kind of derailed the season. But I want to ask you, what does a coach learn from a season like that when you have all your plans laid out? And it's like what Mike Tyson said, you have a plan until you get hit in the face. And what was that like for you going through that year?
Well, it was a lot of uncertainty. So again, you kind of go into a game or into a practice or go weekly not knowing what you really have, but then you're not having that chemistry that you have with the same 5 or the same 7 or the same 8. So then when people get injured, another person has to step up, but you don't have that chemistry yet. So it was very telling, but I think it helped us grow. As coaches, it helped us grow as players. I always say there's going to be peaks and valleys in life so that you'll be able to see how you respond to challenges and respond to adversity. So it helped me grow last season. We kind of revamped the whole team this year. And so, again, we have 8 new kids. We have 1 freshman. We have 5 returners. I think it's really going to be exciting. It's always like, it's the unknown right now. And I just want to get us in front of someone else, another team, and really showcase what we can do.
And to your point about that, getting into this season, you took a trip out to the Mediterranean, to Greece and to Croatia. That was back in August.
Yeah.
And as you look back now, we're a couple months removed from that trip. What did that mean for building this team with all those new faces?
I thought it was the right time to do a foreign trip because when you go away, all you have is each other. And it was really important for me to build that team chemistry, that bonding, learning each other's likes, dislikes, personalities, trying to get, a couple females getting together as different personalities, but now you have 13 to 15 girls getting together and learning each other's personalities was big to me. And we were able to grow over there in Greece and Croatia. It was beautiful, different cultures, different foods, different musics, different people. It was just really, really eye-opening. And to be honest, our girls were really grateful and thankful and blessed that we can do something like this, and thankful for the SMU administration that really approved us to go on that trip.
Exactly 10 days, I think it was, that you were there. So, I mean, you couldn't, everything both on the floor and off the floor, as you talked about. And as we're talking about this, as you were building this team, we're in this era where the transfer portal has become so commonplace in today's college athletic environment. So what's been your philosophy, not only about dealing with that, but how NIL has entered into the picture for you all?
Well, I think people that want to be at SMU, it takes a certain type of person. SMU isn't for everyone, so I want people that want to be committed here on the basketball court and in the classroom, because we have such a great foundation with our academics. But really, like the transfer portal, really I think affects the freshmen, the high school kids, because why not get a kid that's ready, college ready, that's been in the system for a year, or get a freshman that you have to really grow and take away their old habits and learn new habits. And so For me, I think it's changed a lot. I think with the men, it's different pay for play kind of thing. But for us, I think women are really, really diving into the NIL, that name, image, and likeness, and be able to brand themselves on social media, finding that perfect brand that suits them, that fits their kind of mission. And everything's not for everyone, but I really think that it helps that we're in Dallas for that name, image, and likeness, to be in a city where you can network and grow your own brand. So I think it's going to be really good for us here at SMU.
And what do you think the impact is now of being in the ACC to what it means for the NIL and for you all?
Huge impact. I think it's a huge impact. I mean, some kids already in the ACC, some females that have already been in the league, they've really millions of dollars being on TV in the ACC network, being on TV early and often, being showcased on social media. Now you see with the women's game, football, women's basketball being played in football arenas, volleyball's blowing up. I mean, really, it's really just NIL is booming for females right now.
Okay, so I want to get into your career in coaching in this sport, and obviously you were head coach at Prairie View A&M for a few years, but then you pivoted to Baylor for 6 years, and this is the part that always intrigued me because you were at Baylor when I was covering Baylor for Rivals for several years, and I'll get to your Michigan stop here in a couple moments, but working for Kim Melke, she's very driven, very successful, she's very demanding, but working for Kim, won 4 national titles, you were there for at least, I think, one of those, and then you were part of that credible streak where they won umpteen consecutive Big 12 regular season and conference tournament championships. And you had a lot to do with the recruiting success there as well. So what did you take from working for Kim Mulkey that you think has been a part of your coaching now?
Every day coming in, just demanding the best out of every single person, from staff, from the top all the way to the bottom, but also giving your best and really reaching kids that don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel, because you're pulling that from them every single day until they see it and it clicks on in their head like, okay, I got it. And so just demanding the most out of everyone you're around and being able to help those around you and grow those around you and grow your coaching tree. And really, I think it's just been amazing. It was amazing 6 years. I was able to grow recruiting-wise as a guard coach, in all levels as a basketball coach, and knowing when I'm a head coach, I can take these things and don't take these things.
And then your stop at Michigan for 2 years. What do you think, was there a moment, was there a sequence that convinced you that this was the time for you to try and give it a shot, be a head coach again? And if there was, what was it? And then what made SMU attractive for you?
Yeah, well, Michigan, Kim Barnes-Riga, I've known her because I'm from New Jersey, New York area, and she's from the same area. And I had the opportunity to become the recruiting coordinator there, and I thought that was a great opportunity for me to grow in my profession. And so I was able to be the recruiting coordinator and kind of really have my hands on what I learned by the other coaches at Baylor. And so it was at Michigan, it was closer to home, and I was able to learn. And the other part was I was a post coach there.
Right.
And so I was a guard coach at Baylor, and I was a post coach at Michigan. So I was growing myself as a basketball coach. I learned a lot from Coach Barnes-Rico. She's a really family-oriented person. She has 2 daughters and a son herself, but she really loves Michigan. She loved Michigan, what it was about, and the similarity with SMU was it was to me a tiny Michigan. Academics top tier, facilities top tier, Ann Arbor, Dallas top tier. Now the difference was the weather, the South and the Midwest, but I was already familiar with Dallas. I was here for 6 years at Prairie View, 6 years at Baylor, so I kind of knew Texas. And so I had always come up here recruiting in Dallas, and I thought it was a perfect spot to ever land. I've had already known a couple people here before. I had come on campus before, and for me, it's an amazing opportunity to be here. It's a gold mine.
So let's talk about this team. 2 of your main returners, and senior forward Shante Embry and junior guard TK Pitts, they went with you to the ACC Media Day a couple of weeks ago. So what are your expectations for their leadership in this first ACC season?
It's really new for them. They didn't sign up for this, obviously. They didn't know they were going to be in the ACC at their college years here at SMU, but it's an excitement. They want to prove something. They don't want to say that we just arrived in the ACC. We want to do something in the ACC.
Right.
They've been driven in practice, and not just those 2. The whole team has been driven, focused, disciplined, just attention to detail. And we're really on a mission, not to just say we're in the ACC. We want to compete and win in the ACC. So
moving on to your transfers, you got 2 of them, 2 big ones that I think there are going to be high expectations for. Nia Robertson from George Washington. She's coming off a huge 23-24 season, averaging 16 points a game. She was all conference there, and then she's a scorer, so that's what you need. Then Z Jones from Villanova, she's a rising shooting guard. those are among others. You can obviously talk to others, but what are you looking for in those two? And in portal in general, when you were looking for these portal players, what were you looking for, and what did you think you were going to need in order to have them fit your system?
So I wanted someone that took care of the ball, that had experience, right? And that's what I saw from her. First of all, she's a Jersey girl like me, but coming from Villanova, she's played with Lucy Olson. She's played with Maddie Seacrest with the Dallas Wings. She knows to play around great players. She doesn't turn the ball over. She knows how to run a system. She has experience, started all her years there. When I saw she was in the portal, that's what I thought. That's what we need. We need that experience. We need that leadership. We need that scoring ability. We need someone to take care of the ball that's great in ball screens. That's why I like Zanaya. As far as Naya, score. We need a scorer, somebody can score at all three levels, that has that dog in them, coming back home to Dallas, play at the ACC level. She loved all those things. And what she did, we had a scrimmage of hers, a Big 12 team last week. She had 29 points in 2.5 quarters.
Wow.
I mean, she's going to be a monster. But for her to be surrounded with Shantae, TK, but we didn't even talk about some of the other newbies that I really think Kasia is going to be really good. Transfer from Xavier, can shoot the ball at the 4 spot. Jess Peterson comes back after redshirting last season. She's going to be able to come on and play. She was here last year but redshirted, but she's going to be a force inside. Bree from a Colorado Post transfer, who is coming back from off an injury. She'll be a presence inside. I'm really excited about all the pieces we have. The biggest thing is going to be, like I said, the chemistry and us all playing together.
Okay, so this non-conference schedule that you all have, pretty good mix here. You've got some games that you feel like you can be very successful at, jumping on some folks pretty fast. But at the same time, you've got the tournament at Arizona State, where you're going to get Arizona State the first game, then you're going to get Minnesota in the second game, and then you have the SEC ACC Challenge game December 5th at Missouri. Just thoughts of just how that was put together, and what did you want to craft it as you were getting ready for the ACC season?
Yeah, well, we wanted to help. You know, you want to obviously prepare for the ACC season, but you also want to win games in the out of conference, because you don't know how many you'll win in the ACC. But so when we went into the Arizona State tournament, we were told it was one mid-major and then Arizona State, but I think a team dropped out. Minnesota got in. So again, it's going to be early though on the road, which we're going to have to worry about in the ACC, playing on the road, playing good teams, and how we can deal with adversity. So we're going to get thrown in the fire early, but that's what we need. That's what we need early to be ready for the ACC. But are we going to crumble when we get punched in the face, or are we going to be able to respond? We're playing Texas Tech. I think that's a great team for us, local team, but also they're always a great team in the Big 12. They always go to the postseason. So I wanted to get some games in Texas where it's going to be a good talent. And then the Big 12 the ACC SEC Challenge. Really excited about that, because Missouri has about 4 Texas kids. But also I think that's a good measurement and baseline for us to see where we are. Going into conference.
And I was going to say that they weren't in the tournament last year, Missouri, but I think they were in the tournament the year before.
Yeah, so Sophie Cunningham was a monster now on that conference and on that team. But they have that SEC experience. So, again, I want to see how we kind of fare against on the road, Power 5 opponent in the SEC. That's going to be good for us.
And you're going to get a lot of it with the ACC season itself. So here's where this is that this conference sent 7 teams to the 2024 NCAA tournament. NC State was in the Final Four. Then you have this year's preseason favorite, Notre Dame. They're coming here. And then you have,
no, we go
I'm
there.
sorry, you go there. Excuse me, you go
yep.
there. You got NC State coming here at the end of the year. But then you also have the likes of Duke, North Carolina, Louisville, and Florida State. All those teams are in the tournament. And so it's a great challenge. And you're smiling at me, but it's also a great opportunity, too, because it's like, you're going to face all of them, so you might as well just figure out how do we swim through all of this.
I think, here's the biggest thing is you play everybody once, but Pitt is our travel partner. But when you play everybody once, if you can catch somebody off their game, one night, take something away, let the unknown beat you. Like, if we can do something very good and do great and do the things that we value, don't turn the ball over, limit their second chance points, be able to score in transition, hit free throws, get second opportunity. If we can do the things that we do and keep the game close, anything can happen.
Sure.
And so, but the first thing you have to do is you got to believe. And so our girls, I don't want anybody stepping on the court who doesn't believe it.
I would think bulletin board material that when you saw the preseason rankings came out, or you guys were picked 16th out of that, I'm sure you looked and said, see, they don't believe in you, good ladies.
Yeah, I mean, well, heck, they think we can beat 2 people. So, the pressure won't be on us.
Right.
We have nothing to lose, everything to gain. We just got in the conference. So I'm really excited to just see how this team fares out.
All right. Finally for you, I'm going to ask you to finish this question. So the season will be a success if?
1, we stay healthy. I would say seriously, but 2, if we have the belief and the faith that we can compete with anybody in this country. Everybody puts their shoes on the same way that we do. Everyone puts their jersey on the same way as we do. Don't look at the name on the front. Just play for your team as hard as you can for each other, and we'll be good.
All right. We're looking forward to it.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Very much.
you.
I really appreciate your time for doing this. And a reminder that the season does open on November 4th at Moody Coliseum against NCAA. That's a 4:30 tip-off, and it's a doubleheader with the men because they will start at 7:30 against Tarleton State. So for Coach Toyelle Wilson, I'm Kevin Lonnquist. Thank you for joining us for On the Pony Express Hilltop Visits. We'll talk to you next time.